Hello and welcome back to another sewing adventure. Today we are starting my third project in my 12 outfits of Christmas series, and it is this Simplicity wrap dress pattern. So it's a vintage reproduction, Simplicity 8085, and it will hopefully be a nice quick make because it's essentially a skirt and a wrap top. So hopefully it won't take me too long. For my fabric, I have this roll of broderie anglaise, I believe it's called. It's the one with holes in it, if that makes sense. Embroidered holes. I don't even know how you would explain that. That is embroidered holes sort of thing. So yes, this is it. It's got little multicolored flowers all over it. And aside from that, I have some bias binding because that's what they use to finish all the edges. Then there's some snaps involved, which I don't have out yet, but I'll pull out shortly. So yeah, pretty simple, and let's get to cutting it out. I'm cutting out my skirt pieces first, then I can hang them up straight away. Like I'll cut them and hang them so that they've got a little bit of time to hang and stretch out because it's a big circle. It's on the bias and it's going to stretch. So I will cut them first and it will hopefully have had a bit of stretching time. Alright, so this is all the pieces to it, plus the skirt hanging here. So back piece, front piece, pocket, and belt. Now the first thing to do is to put the darts in the bodice pieces. There's 2 in the front piece and 1 in the back. My darts are all in place, and I've also stay stitched some edges. Now it's time to attach my back pieces to my front piece. On this side seam, which is the right side, you can't tell because it's all blending in, but I've got 2 marks here where I have to leave a little opening, which is where the tie strap goes through. So I have to remember not to stitch between here, but you have to finish off the stitching in this section. Now that I have ironed all my seams flat, it's time to put binding on the armholes, and then I also have to, where did it go? Stitch around this little hole that was left for this strap. So now that it's nicely pressed, just to keep that open, do a little box of stitching around it. My top is pretty much done. It just needs the final binding along the front edges and neck, but that doesn't happen until the skirt is attached because it runs from the bottom of the skirt all the way around to the other bottom of the skirt. So now it's time to put the skirt together and then attach it here. Before I am attaching the skirt to the bodice, I'm just putting the pockets on because I figured that would be easier without a bodice there. I've marked the placement at the top and I just need to pin around and then top stitch them on because I've ironed the seam allowance in and eased the curves. Now they're ready to pin and sew. Pockets are on. Now it's time for the bodice to be attached, and I have someone who's waiting desperately to go on that thing that happens of an evening, but it's not even evening yet. He just really wants to go. That's not helpful at all. Alright, let's pin this. Well, I would say let's pin this and attach it, but somebody's not helping in that endeavour. I'm really liking how this is turning out. I like the little pop of blue that this lining gives it. And then if you actually pull it in, it looks a lot nicer than when it's just hanging. Bit shapeless there, but once it's got its things, which is why I now need to attach my tapes. What would you call it? Straps? Ties. I need to attach the ties, which are attached on the back, and tie in the front. Straps are in. It is time to bind the entire front edge. Finishing touches. The last thing before I do the hem is attach some snaps. Hem time, because everything else is done. I don't know if it's stretched that much, like it's only been on the form for a couple of hours, so I don't know that it will have changed much in the circle, and I might have to re-hem it later. But for the purpose of, you know, wanting to wear this out tonight if I was so inclined, it is in a good enough state that I could. She's done. I really like how this one turned out, despite kind of looking like an apron. I think it's a really cute little summer dress. Yay! One that I actually managed to get done in a day. If I had a party to go to, I have the dress. In my opinion, this dress is the perfect summer dress.
It was quick and easy to make. It only took me 5 hours, and most of that was getting the binding on. So all this little rolled binding, because you know, if you go do that too fast, then it slips off and you miss stitches and then you have to redo it. So I did it slowly so I didn't have to redo it, and I got it all on first go, but it took a while. But yeah, it's easy to wear, big skirt and big pockets. What more could you ask for in a dress?